Make sure you say your name.
All right. Hey, I'm Mike, and that's Greg, and we're Mike and Greg, so we'll go with that. Start now. Okay. So I want to talk about the IGF, and it's kind of like a topic that comes up every year, and it's sort of awesomely fun for me to watch TIG source forums and other places where there seems to be a lot of drama, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but it gets a little crazy, and it was hilarious to me, and now it has become a little depressing to me. And I've got kind of a story arc of, like, I've been doing this for 5 years, and back when I started, and I was sort of a young punk, and I came to GDC first time, and I thought IGF was fucking amazing. Like, I was totally blown away by Fez, and I was blown away by all these games that seemed awesome, and I looked at IGF, and I believed this myth of IGF makes you. IGF creates the future and makes you into a superstar, and it seems so obvious that there's a connection there. And I still see everyone else seems to believe that exact same myth, and I'm going to go into that. It is a myth, because the answer to this question is not. It's not important, or at least not very. It's basically a media junket for you. If you have a cool game and you get in the IGF, it saves a lot of time talking to press. That's like it. And I know we all have this myth of Phil Fish. We all saw Indie Game the movie, how when he started, he was a hobo on the streets of Montreal, and he had nothing, and then he got an IGF, and suddenly he had infinite money, and the game was done in 6 months, and it was all easy and perfect, and it came easily because the IGF built him up and made his life perfect. And obviously, it's fucking bullshit. It doesn't happen that way. And the only reason that Fez is anything is because nobody on that project, Phil and Renault, and all the people who were key to that project, didn't give up for 5 fucking years. And it's because they worked their asses off, and they gave everything that they had. And that is what makes you a superstar. And that's what it is. It's fucking hard work. It's giving everything that you have every day, believing in your project, doing something that you love. And there is no gatekeepers. I get people tell me all the time on like internet forums, I'm trying to lay down some truth, and they're like, no man, you don't know. The IGF is a gatekeeper. The IGF is a kingmaker, and these words make no sense to me. And I know what the fuck I'm talking about, because last year I got into IGF, and it was awesome, right? Because it's all your peers and all your friends saying that you made something that was good. And that feels really, really good. And I'm not going to say that it's not great. And obviously IGF is awesome, and I love everyone who's involved with it, but it didn't change my life. It was actually a fucking non-event, you know? Like, I woke up and I saw a bunch of Twitter posts, and I was like, holy shit, awesome. And then I got back to work, you know? And it was actually, for me, it's kind of different, because my game had come out like 6 months earlier, and we already made like 75% of our money, and actually we didn't even have a blip in sales, because nobody gives a shit about the IGF. I'll tell you that right now. You think that you're doing it so you can get a talk with Microsoft. You think you're doing it so Sony will talk to you. Microsoft doesn't email us back. Sony politely didn't email us back. At least they acted like they were interested for a little while. And Nintendo, I gave my pitch document to Shigeru Miyamoto in the hall. He signed it and politely bowed and walked away. So, I mean, they don't care. They don't care about you. And even if you get in the IGF and you get a deal with them, they'll just drop you 6 months later because they don't love you, you know. And my point is just that the IGF should not be as big a deal as it is, especially for the new kids. Like, I really want to burst your bubble and tell you that it's not going to save your life. It's not going to change your life. And it's just, you shoot for it. You know, try to get a build out for it, because that's fun. And it's good to have a deadline every once in a while. But it's not that big a deal. It gets you a lot of press, and it's cool to have your announcement be with the IGF, because that shows you got some big balls. You're going to hold it in and then let it all come out right there. But it's just an award show, and I get a lot of people are saying that we need to preserve how the IGF brings up small indies, and we need to preserve that aspect of it, and it totally doesn't do that. The Oscars don't do that. Sundance does it, I guess, but Sundance still doesn't get games that nobody knows about, or not games, movies. The good movies still win, and we're not like going to take shitty games and rise them up just because these are small guys doing it. We're all small. We're all just like 2-3 people doing these things. It's not a charity. And I want to relate a John Blow thing, because everyone I'm sure has one. 4 years ago he said something like at a talk, he said, "Just make a great game." And I was so pissed off by what he said. And I thought he was an elitist, like pretentious dude who just, he's not going to share the secret of what it takes to succeed. And he's up there on his pedestal and he's saying, oh, just make a great game. And now I get it, because I've put in 4 years of work since then, and I've made a great game, and I know that it's just hard fucking work. And if you do it, you can all show that amazing thing that you have inside that you want to show to people. You're just going to have to work your fucking ass off to show other people. And that's all I got. So, thanks.